Welcome to a Community Partners interview where we explore the organizations, opportunities, and resources that look to make change in our daily lives. I'm your host, Nafisah Anif, and you're listening to Voices for Ability Radio, all abilities, all the time. Today I'm joined by Sheldon Samlall, who is the Community Engagement and Development Manager for Community Living Fort Erie. Community Living Fort Erie exists to promote inclusion and to ensure that people with intellectual challenges have their rights and privileges upheld. Their vision is to see an inclusive community that only sees abilities. Thank you for joining us today, Sheldon.
It's my pleasure. Thanks for the intro.
Amazing. So tell us a little more about you and what inspired you to work at Community Living Fort Erie, and why work with individuals with disabilities?
Absolutely. So my time at Community Living Fort Erie has been a little short-lived so far. So I recently joined the team as their Community Engagement and Development Manager in 2025 during July. And so it's been fantastic so far. What I'd say is, if we dig a little bit more into my past, I actually have 4 years and some change in the developmental sector prior to joining this team. I used to work at Community Living North Halton. And so I have moved to Niagara. And in my moving, it made sense after a while to kind of work a little bit closer to home, but also I really do love working in the DS sector. And so when this opportunity came up at CLFE, I jumped to it. Working in the DS sector for me has been very fulfilling. In my opinion, it's life-changing work. At the end of the day, what we do, we're providing supports and services for people who may not always be able to advocate for themselves. And so putting an organization like Community Living Fort Erie or the other community livings into mind when you're thinking about how to help your local community and people in it, I think it's a great way to move forward in any aspect when we're talking about assisting people with developmental disabilities.
Oh, perfect. Thank you for that. Can you tell me if there are any myths and misconceptions about the clients of Community Living Fort Erie?
Myths and misconceptions. I'm not sure that I could maybe pinpoint a myth or a misconception, but what I do know is that what we work very hard at here is breaking down barriers for people with intellectual disabilities. We're trying to dismantle any sort of assumptions that people may have about one's ability, whether or not they are neurodivergent. And so one of the things that we really pride ourselves on here is, one, person-centered approach, and two, inclusion.
Now, you mentioned that you are trying to dismantle some of the assumptions. What assumptions are you referring to?
Yeah, for sure. That's a great question, and I'd be happy to share a little bit of a story on an assumption. So we have clients at Community Living who have various ability ranges, and sometimes this is reflected on as either something that puts someone in a position where they may not be able to advocate for themselves, or the assumption is there. So we had a person who was supported go out for a meal at a restaurant, and they were accompanied by a support staff. We make sure that our support staff are always in plain clothes, just as the supported individual is. We try to move away from any sort of clinical clothing, no scrubs, face masks only when sick. And they were sitting down for a meal together. Now, prior to ordering, a server came over, and instead of asking the supported individual what they wanted to eat, the questions, all of them, were directed towards the support staff. Now, this would be a great example of something that we're trying to dismantle at CLFE, because at the end of the day, the person that was out in the community who was being supported is fully capable of placing a food order. They're fully capable of advocating for themselves, and they knew exactly what they wanted to eat. So within this story and this situation, I think our support staff acted very greatly in that the server asked, "What would so and so like to eat?" And the support worker simply turned and said, you could probably ask them and they'd let you know. And it was something that wasn't too pushy, it wasn't rude, but it redirected that person, that server, to ask the question directly to the person supported. And I'm hoping that was a teachable moment for them. And I think that's how dismantling these assumptions happen. It's one person at a time, it's one situation at a time. And that's how our staff is ideally trained to conduct themselves when out in the community. I hope that answered your question.
Oh, very well. And it's really unfortunate because I've noticed this happening a lot when you're considering different sorts of disabilities and when the person with a disability is accompanied by a support staff or family or friend or anyone for that matter. Everything is always directed to that other individual rather than the person with the disability. It's really unfortunate that something like that continues to happen.
Absolutely, absolutely, and I do hope that again through these micro interactions, through more learning and hopefully more openness from all of us, we try to chip away at this mountain and break down those assumptions.
Yeah, I agree. Smash those barriers one at a time.
Yeah, exactly.
So while doing some of my research, I saw that you have a couple of services that you offer. Can you tell us a little more about those services?
Yeah, for sure. So, community living in general, um, across Canada slash Ontario, although we all carry the community living name, we do offer different services depending on the location. And community living Fort Erie does a couple of things very well. And so I would begin with our residential program, which that offers group housing for our supported individuals. And so what a group home looks like is essentially any sort of house you might see on the block. There is no outright distinction in between these homes, but they are outfitted from the inside out to be most accommodating for the people that we support. And so sometimes we'll have a few people living in one residence, but excuse me, they have their own room, they have their own space, and they're allowed to conduct themselves as they wish, as it is it's their space, it's their house. And so we provide support within those places, but we also respect the boundaries of the people who live there. And so just keeping in mind that it is their house at the end of the day, and we're just there to help them as needed. Another service that we provide is our community support. And what community support looks like is providing resources and sharing materials and community events with people with developmental disabilities within the community. So just making things a bit more accessible to them, helping them know about services that they might not know about, and also assisting with transportation to and from those events or services if they'd like to engage with them. And then another popular one of ours is our passport program. And what a passport program is essentially people with intellectual or developmental disabilities are given an allotment of cash on a yearly basis. And what we do is help them with their passport funding, spend that passport money on events and things that are engaging for them within the community. Again, transportation sometimes is assisted through the passport program just to help people get to and from. And we've also got our family supports where we're assisting families navigate the developmental sector and making sure that we can get them the appropriate resources that they need. So I think that is the bulk of our services. There was one more actually that just came to mind, our SIL program, Supported Independent Living. which is essentially a lighter touch than the residential program. So somebody who's in the SIL program might be very capable of doing many things, but might need assistance doing few things. And then we would be supporting with doing those few things. An example would be maybe someone's fully capable of maintaining their home, cooking their meals, and taking care of themselves throughout the day to day. But perhaps driving isn't necessarily one thing that they're comfortable doing or learn to do or allowed to do. And so we might assist with driving them to and from grocery shopping or smaller things like that. I hope that answered your question, Nafisah.
Yeah, very well. Thank you.
No problem.
Now, what is the governance and accountability all about?
Governance and accountability. So if we're talking about governance and accountability, basically what I'm thinking of is our key priorities we kind of lay out throughout our strategic plan. Like, so this would be found on our website as well. It's public information. So we usually set goals and KPIs for us to hit within those goals. And so this is refreshed every so often through the direction of our board and through the leadership of our executive director, Sandy Leamet. And so that information is on the website. In addition to that, our CLFE financial statements are all on there. Our previous AGM booklet is on there, and then our risk report is on there. Again, all public information for folks who want to dig a little bit deeper into community living for Erie, who we are, and what the background looks like. They're more than welcome to check that out on clfe.ca.
Okay, perfect. Are there any restrictions to the services at CLFE, such as age, disability type, caregivers, or family members only, things of that nature?
That's a good question. And so what I'd say about restrictions is, for the most part, I think where service the service journey begins is through the DSO, and so that would be Developmental Sector Ontario. And I think what essentially would be happening there is people who are searching for services would access the DSO to begin looking for services in and around their area that best fit their needs. And then based on that, they would choose a service provider to provide those needs. And so a little earlier, I was mentioning the services that CLFE provides. And based on what we provide, I think it is really up to the person who is seeking support and service to determine whether or not we are the right fit for them. Now, I want to be clear in saying that determining whether or not we are the right fit for them is a very that statement, I'd say it's important because I did mention that we're very person-centered. And what I want to be clear about is community living for Erie is all about person-centered approaches. What we try to do is understand that, there are no cookie cutter approaches when it comes to people. Every human being is an individual. Every individual is unique. Kind of like I have my own likes and dislikes and needs. Nafisah, you as well. You have your own likes, dislikes, and needs. And so
For
what we try
sure,
to do is make
for
sure that we
sure.
cater to everybody's needs the best that we can through thorough intake packages, thorough interview sessions, getting to know who we will be taking on within our caseloads. And so figuring out if CLFE is the right fit for you is one thing, but also CLFE will always do our best to, I don't want to use the word shoehorn here, but like we'll do our best to give you the service that you need based on who you are.
And that idea in this day and age is so crucial for success, not only for the individuals with disabilities themselves, but really for everyone involved. So it really spans all levels, because if there is no client-centered approach, person-centered approach, taking in the individuality of the individual, the uniqueness of what makes them unique, no one really gets anywhere fast.
No, not at all.
Okay, and without using any names, can you share a success story with me? What supports were put in place when someone asked for help?
Oh, this is a great question. I like this one because I feel like I get to think about positive things that I get to see in my workplace, and I feel like there's a few that I could think of. Um, hmm. Oh, so there's a really good one that comes to mind. And like I said, I did only join the team in July, so I'm getting to know everybody. A lot of things are really new to me, but there was this one client who had a lifelong dream of going skydiving. And I thought it was such a great story when they'd shared this dream coming to fruition for them. So essentially, we'd supported them for a few years, and I believe no, we are still supporting them today. And they'd always wanted to go skydiving. It was a dream of theirs. And I also want to mention that this person recently graduated post-secondary school too. So they are smashing their goals, which is amazing. But yeah, no, they mentioned that they wanted to do it. And through savings, through researching where they needed to go and kind of mapping it all out and putting the onus on them to kind of do some of the work, they did the work and they jumped out of a plane and they
Oh my
yeah, they
goodness.
fulfilled that lifelong goal. So, like I said, I am fairly new to the team, but hearing that one is one of those stories that I'll probably always share.
Well, definitely tick that item off the bucket list.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
I wonder what will be next in their journey, possibly hand gliding.
Yeah, I've yet to find out. I've yet to find out.
That would be truly ironic if you came back in a couple of years and you repeated the same story about skydiving, but then you said, "Oh, and they were also interested in hand gliding."
Pencil me in right now. Book me in for a couple of years, and
Yeah,
yeah,
for
we'll
sure.
figure it out for sure.
Oh, wow. Are there any events coming up for community living for?
Yes, there's one that is in the works right now. I'm super excited to talk about it, mainly because it's my first crack at it. Fort Erie is a smaller town. There's about 33,000 people in this town specifically, and they are very used to Community Living Fort Erie putting on a big holiday party at the end of the year. That holiday party raises a lot of funds towards our organization. And last year we had to take a little lapse in the pattern of having that party because I was new to the team and it was not enough buffer for me to kind of put this together in time. So having one lapse, I am trying to hit the ground running this year. Planning is well underway, and we're looking to get sponsorship packages out ASAP for the 2026 Frosted at the Fort, a night at the Speakeasy fundraiser. And so, what this is a Speakeasy themed holiday party that's taking place November 14th, 2026. And we are inviting everybody that wants to attend to attend. We've got about 300 tickets going to be available. We've got a sponsorship package that is going to be hitting our social media platforms. I'm going to be out boots on the ground within our community. But yeah, that's coming up. Super excited to give my first crack at it. My predecessor's most recent year doing this event raised $55,000 for Community Living Fort Erie. So I've got huge shoes to fill, but I'm excited. The fundraising committee is excited, and we appreciate you giving us the opportunity to talk about it now. So yeah, that's the biggest one coming up.
Well, I think you will be able to surpass that $55,000, and I am sending you positive energy, good vibes that it happens.
Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate the kind words and the well wishes.
Yeah, because I mean everyone loves a good holiday party, and when you can have fun for a good cause, I'm all in. Why not?
Absolutely, absolutely. I think the speakeasy theme is going to be fun too. We're going to have maybe some like secret knocks going on, some cool dancers. It's going to be a fun night for sure.
Oh yeah. And especially during a weeknight, I'm hopeful that you will be able to get a lot of
Oh,
participants.
I think the 14th is a Saturday, so it will be on a Saturday for sure. And
Oh, it's a
yeah,
Saturday,
yeah, yeah,
okay.
yeah. So we'll hopefully we'll get a good because
Oh,
it's that
even better.
Saturday. Yeah,
Yeah, even better. Dance the night away, guys.
absolutely.
Wonderful. What would you say is the one thing that you see happening over and over again to individuals with disabilities that shouldn't be happening? And how do we stop it?
hmm Um, I think just like lack of accessibility through things that you wouldn't think of, or you and I might not think of, or whoever's at the table. I don't want to make any assumptions about yourself, Nafisa, and I don't necessarily share everything about myself. But what I think is, when we're not inviting everybody to the table, we're going to have blind spots all the time. And so when we have blind spots, we don't think about who we're affecting in so many things. I could give an example of
It's very true.
maybe onboarding. Organizations need to keep this at top of mind. Are your onboarding materials for jobs, are they written in plain language? Are there text-to-speech tools available for people who might have vision impairment or maybe reading impairment? Someone could be, maybe not the strongest at reading, but fully capable to do a job. And so I think that is something that's being overlooked all the time. Those are just two examples, but I'm sure if we sat down and we had all the time in the world, we could think of a plethora of them. Uh, yeah, so we need to make sure that we're always inviting people with disabilities to the table for planning committees, for so many things. We need to make sure that they're there so they can have their voices heard, make sure that people can count them in and make space for them. It's changing. I think the climate and attitude around this is changing, but nowhere near at the speed that it needs to.
Yeah, definitely nothing about us without us. If that was more prevalent, a lot of things would be improved
hmm hmm
and a lot more person-centered than they actually are at the moment.
Absolutely.
If someone wanted to become a member or volunteer with CLFE, what's the process for joining as a member or a volunteer?
Yeah, that's a great question. So you would actually have the chance to touch base with me, which is great. I'm happy
Great.
to meet any volunteers, student placements that want to get involved with Community Living Fort Erie. I'm kind of the quote unquote first line there as the community engagement and development manager. I onboard and train all volunteers and placements that come through. And you can do that by accessing our website. Again, that's clfe.ca, where your application will come directly to my email address. And yeah, we'll have a quick phone chat. And then if I understand that your needs are well matched, sorry, what you're looking for is well matched for our organization, I'd be happy to put you through an orientation process and get you helping our organizations and get involved with the people that we support.
Wonderful. And you mentioned earlier about the about the DSO. So am I assuming that if someone wanted to be an actual member of community living, they would have to be registered with the DSO first?
Oh, yes. So when you say member, you mean like someone who is receiving support?
Yes.
Yeah, 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 yeah. So they would need to first go through the DSO, and then they would be able to kind of funnel in through that pipeline.
Okay, perfect. What is the one thing everyone needs to know about CLF
The one thing, huh.
among
Yeah,
many?
yeah, yeah, you're trying to stump me now. The one thing, I would say, again, as a newer member to the team, I think this organization will surprise you in like a good way. I grew up in the GTA. I worked in Halton most recently, as I'd mentioned, at Community Living North Halton, and then coming to a smaller town to work and see how support is provided. Yeah, you'll be blown away at how dedicated people are to their work and how tight knit a smaller community can be. It's something that I'm still getting to learn, and I get to see every day showing up to the office. And so, yeah, I'd say this organization will surprise you in a positive way.
Oh, that's great. And if listeners are looking for more information, how can they reach out to you?
So a couple of things. I'd say definitely follow us on Instagram and Facebook. Just type in Community Living Fort Erie. You'll find us no problem. I'd mentioned our website before, clfe.ca. And if you wanted to get in touch with me directly, my email address and my office line is available on the website under the Contact Us page. I know not everybody listening to this is going to have a pen and paper, so I'm not going to spell it out. But again, you can find that information on our site, clfe.ca.
Wonderful. Well, Sheldon, we are out of
That
time.
went by so quickly.
It did. And thank you so much. I appreciate all the stories that you've shared. I appreciate your insights and just your overall enthusiasm for what you do. So thank you.
Oh, it was a pleasure. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Well, friends, this concludes another Community Partners interview. Let's care, let's share, because we've all been there. I'm your host, Nafisah Anif, signing off until next time.